Now I saw some of you in Torah study and others come for services and lunch. And there will be a Torah reading if you want a Torah commentary as well. And then our lovely Elul Shabbat morning that does not exist in this book. And from the Rosh Hashanah book, I tried to dutifully cite things as I went. Wonderful time here together this morning. We'll begin with Ma Tovu. In the middle of page 1. Ma Tovu, how good they are, these tents of Jacob, a home, when so many yearn for shelter and for care. And blessed are we who share this house, which shelters us, where we belong. This house of Torah, this house of love, of sacred assemblies. Today our people greet the turning of the year. We stand with all of them this morning, grateful we're alive, to meet this day, first dawning of the year. For all of us, praise to this morning, give thanks for our gathering, give ear to the ancient call that brings us home. Our hearts rise up in holiday that celebrates today. How good they are, these tents of Jacob, how beautiful the homes where Israel dwells. On page 2. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. All the year we should see ourselves as though we are equally balanced between merit and guilt. And similarly, we should see the entire world as equally balanced between merit and guilt. One moral failure can tip the scales for us and for the whole world toward the side of culpability, leading to destruction. But doing one mitzvah can tip the scales. That is, a person who has done what is right, has tipped the balance for the practice to give tzedakah generously, to increase acts of goodness, and to focus on performing mitzvot. I'm going to add from Elul through Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, more so than during the rest of the year. Take good care of your lives. Your word calls to us, do no harm to yourself. Caring for our bodies become our daily practice. May we be attentive to our need for proper food, sleep, and exercise. Let no injury come to others through our acts or failure to act. But let our mitzvah be this, to build a just society in which care is a birthright and the blessing of health the responsibility of all. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh chol basar umafli la'asot. We praise you, Holy One, for wondrous acts of creation and healing. Precious above all is the soul within me, a spark of childhood innocence, curious, hopeful, loving, and good. Whatever I've done, wherever I've gone wrong, however I've been hurt, I know its light still shines. May I return and reconnect with the part of me that belongs to you, my divine core, eternal, incorruptible. We give you praise, Adonai. All life is in your hand, and in your care the soul of every human being. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar, umafli la'asot.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sek bibina, l'havchin ben yom u'ben layla. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, sh'asa li kol tzor hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, me'ayev koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Shasani b'tzelem melech Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Shasani Yisrael, ber Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Oter Yisrael. Adonai, otav yemichai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, ulevaker b'hichalo. Hallelujah b'kodsho, hallelujah b'rkia, hallelujah b'rov kudlo, hallelujah b'tika shofar, hallelujah, 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 b'tofu machol, hallelujah, b'minim ve'ugav, hallelujah, b'tzitzilei shamayim. Hallelujah, b'tzitzilei teruah, kol hajamat, hallelujah, kol ha'yadi shamat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Towards the bottom of page 4. Yishtabach Shimcha Le'ad Malkeinu, our sovereign God, source of holiness and greatness. May your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and our fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymns, sacred chant, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of praise, source of the impulse to give thanks, crown of wonders. Amen.
Yitbarach Kudasharihu Lehela Mikol Bechata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Darechu Et Adonai Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Together, source of blessings, our nation each day, infinite, varied, and rich is teeming with life. Awe-struck by the universe, work of your hands, let all life bless you, praise you, and celebrate the beauty of your lights. May you shine our Hameorot, our praise to you, Adonai, creator of the cosmic lights. If you find joy in Torah, will grow deep. You'll anchor. Your passion for life will not wither or fade. They'll treasure the lessons you leave. Our praise to you, Adonai. You have singled out your people Israel with love.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto.
A special Ve'ahavta for Elul. You shall love the ones who are close with all your heart. Love them when they struggle, when they sadden and disappoint you. Love them when they fail. See the good within them even when they can't. Look at them and listen when they save you from yourself. Love them when they give you joy, and love them when they don't. When you lie down, let go of anger. When you rise up at dawn, begin again. Bind yourself to the ones you love with promises kept and vows fulfilled. Open to them the gates of your heart, the doorway of your soul, and let them know you. Eternal, watch over my small domain of light and shadow, those few people who share my love, and all others upon this earth that sometimes shakes with thunder and that makes us kill and covers the ground with the Red Sea that only you can part. So we may all walk through the wilderness to your realm of peace, where all men and women are one.
Yisrael, Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
So we prepare for our Amidah, our central.
Adonai Yisrael Tiftachu fi Ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may Abraham, Eloi Yitzchak, Eloi Yaakov, Eloi Israel, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Kodei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezra Sarai, Shene Yafa, Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Shemarom, Kakatuv ayam nivecha, V'karaz el zeh v'hamay tzevaot, Melo kol haaretz kevodo. Hadir echad hu Eloheinu, yashvinu berachamav le'elei kol chai. Haydi Adonai le'echem, ledor v'ador. Hallelujah. Ledor v'ador nabish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipenu lo yamush le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated, and we turn to page 9. God breathed inspiration. May we sanctify this day by breathing deeply, attentive to Baruch Ata Adonai, to Shabbat.
Ritzei, Ritzei, Ritzei Adonai Nefilatam, Be'avat Karben Tamid, U'tei Ratzon Tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amen. Adonai, She'otecha Yiranod.
My restless mind, alive and curious, awakening suddenly to beauty, for love and the memory of love, forgiveness when I didn't deserve it, another kindness. Baruch Ata Adonai, Hatov Shimecha Ulecha Na'eh Lehodot, towards the bottom of page 9. For the gifts I received today, awakening suddenly to beauty, for love and the memory of love, forgiveness when I didn't deserve it, another chance at life. Let my soul give thanks to you. Let me not.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, kulanu k'echad, ve'or banecha. V'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Torat chayim u'tzedaka u'bracha v'rachamim v'chayim v'shalom. Sim shalom, tova u'bracha, kol Yisrael amecha, v'tov, v'tov, v'ne'imecha, levarech et amcha Yisrael. Sim shalom, tova v'rachamim aleinu. We now take a moment for silent prayer and meditation. You may use the words under silent meditation that can be found on page 10 if you wish.
As we prepare for the Torah service, I invite you to rise as you are able and look towards the bottom of page 10. Is there somebody who would like to carry the Torah? Portion this week comes from Parashat Ki Tetzei, and I will be reading. Got a little talkative, so I got to get to the right place in the Torah. This Torah portion of any Torah portion, and I am confident somewhere in the Plaut commentary it gives you that number. I want to say it's 73, but Torah study, you never actually found it. About sort of the social order and creating society in line with Deuteronomy, particularly what location. Torah study, we got to talk about lost sheep. Oh, and that's Kitava. There we go. Join in the blessings together, which, if you would like, are on page 11 in our packet. Baruchu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch ata Adonai. Rest of the portion. Lo yelecha bekisecha, Evan ve'evan, gedola uchtana, that you shouldn't have in like a big stone and a little stone, so you don't have two different measuring weights. Lo yelecha bevetecha efa va'efa, gedola uchtana, that you should not have two different evan shlema v'tzadik yelecha efa shlama v'tzadik, or v'tzedek yiyelecha, that you should have a full, for like flour and things, within your homes. Lema'an yarichu yamecha, that in order that your days be lengthened, al ha'adama asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha, is a toeva, that's, I believe, usually translated with our not-so-favorite word abomination. Chor et asher asa lecha Amalek, baderek bitzeitchem mimitzrayim. Remember, gone out from Egypt. Asher karecha baderek v'yiznav becha kol hanchashalim acherecha. It's reminding you what Amalek did, that they came up behind you and attacked. I love this translation. Smote the hindmost of thee, and were enfeebled in the rear. Ve'yega ve'lo yare Elohim. You were tired and you were weak, and they did not have the fear of God. Ve'haya b'haniach ad enemies surrounding. your inheritance and your holding. Timacha et zachar amalech mitachat hashamayim lo tishchach. And this from under heaven, do not forget. We'll join in the blessing after the reading. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu hamnata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. And we will rise as the Torah is apparently on page 11, and the Hebrew is the Torah blessing again, so look at the transliteration. Well, of all mistakes to make in the service packet, putting an extra blessing for the Torah can't be a bad one, right? Certainly better than not having any blessings for the Torah. Prayers for those in our community, and we will start for the soldiers and civilians being held. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harms of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the IDF that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham. I will rescue them and honor them. And for those in need of healing of Jordan Arms, Ella Dubrow, Jeremy Watts, Brandon Watts, Bert Seidel, Bruce Brenner, Barb Gronenfeld, Isaac Spicer, David Hernandez, Norm Kyle Kreider, Anna Pullman Garcia, Bobby DeSalvo, Justin Zeisloft, Natalie Katz, James Weston, Cynthia Weston, Isaac Stoller, Kazimira Kadded. I invite you to share them aloud. For strength. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings healing to our world. After can be found on page 12, and our Haftarah comes from Isaiah chapter 54 and can be found on page 1345. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet mai habochel amo uvenviei ha'emet v'tzedek. I think I saw Fran and/or Maseda moving, so Fran, I saw you first. But we can't do our usual go around the room.
Yeah.
As we used to in the or in the chapel.
Sing, O barren woman, who woman shall have more children than a woman who is married, says the Eternal One. Enlarge the space for your tent. Do not spare the canvas for your dwelling place. Do not hold back. Length is settled. Have no fear. You shall not be put to shame. Do not cringe. Your disgrace. Remember your disgrace as a widow. For your husband is your maker, the one called God of the hosts of heavens, and your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel, called life still. For a brief moment I forsook you. With abiding love I take you back. Love unending I take you in, says your Redeemer, the Eternal One. This is like the days of Noah to me. I promise then never again to cover the earth with the waters of you. Though the mountains may depart and the hills be removed, my love shall never depart from you, and my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says the one who...
Our blessing after the Haftarah reading. Baruch atah adorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol divarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod ultifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim kadesh haShabbat. So those who were here last night heard a version of this, and it will likely have been as ad-libbed as this version will be, so they will be slightly different. For those who read tidbits, did we decide that was 2 weeks ago? I think his rabbi wrote this week. And, there was a series of prompts, just single words for each day of Elul. It's #blog was trust. And so I was smart enough earlier in the week to look at that before preparing the Torah portion. And the image that came to mind, they're telling them, go ahead, jump, I'll catch you. Myself as the parent or as the swim instructor saying, do you trust me? And it's a funny thing because the kid will say, no. And there have been times when I have seen swim instructors, or it's been me in the water. And then some of us are also familiar with the other children who will run in regardless of whether there's an adult. But when I thought of trust, this was the image that came to mind. Guessing, looking around the room, y'all aren't doing a lot of jumping into people's arms in the pool. And to support Amalek, they always stand out. We read them at Purim time too. In case you don't remember them, here is what they say. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when Adonai your God grants you safety from all your enemies around you, in the land that Adonai your God is giving you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of... So I'll pause here, because it's not readily connected to trust, but if we're a small enough group, what comes to mind? You've heard enough of my voice. I'm going to give you all a chance to speak. Vic. Totally unprepared, yeah. Festival meaning the... I'm going to paraphrase what I think you're saying and add a little bit. So as always, so in the Bible, military attacks were head on. So you put your weakest members in the rear. So when it's taught, for the Bible, it would have been in the front so that if you are attacked, if I'm the one in the back, I'm trusting them to sin that Amalek committed, according to Jewish tradition, is not that Amalek attacked Israel, but that they attacked from behind. But that they specifically attacked the people who couldn't defend themselves and not in an appropriate way. What I hear you saying is then the parallel of in our own society, and how are we protecting them and not just leaving them behind? And we could argue with the biblical wandering through the desert arrangement that should there have been to use a food analogy, they're the low-hanging fruit. And I'm just going to go to the animal kingdom because that feels a lot better than people. Animals, lions eat. The ones at the rear are going to be about as nutritious as the ones in the middle, but they're going to take a lot less energy to kill. As an educator, I have absolutely no idea what you are talking about. Students always follow every rule. Mm-hmm. And for those that might not have heard, I'll summarize by saying, in a day-to-day life, we have a lot of trust in other people to follow the rules, like in driving and the like, even though people don't always follow the rules, them kind of interchangeably. And so how we trust God and how we have faith in God are not the same concept. Kind of what Jewish tradition and commentaries have done versus to do some things that I would say are about as what I posed last night was a way of trying to reconcile these verses, owning this is not the plain reading of the text, but God gave us the Torah without punctuation, so I'm changing the punctuation. And what I got in my Torah reading abilities, I would have tried to read the Torah with this punctuation, but I did not. So if we go back to our verses, to read it as a question. So after we've had all of these laws about how to build a just society, and we've got equal weights and measures, and we're returning lost objects, and we're not stoning wayward sons, or we can trust one another to interact appropriately, what if we read it like this? Where did it go? Remember what Amalek did to you, ? That really blot out Amalek, but rather to blot out the memory of Amalek. That I fulfilled my end of the bargain, then you can blot out the memory of Amalek. You'll feel safe, you'll feel secure, and you don't have to hold it against them. Not the plain reading of the text, returning lost objects, all of these things that came before. With a pool to say, I trust you. Then when you're struggling to stay above water in the pool, to trust that somebody's going to come get you. And so I wonder and hope in a future that here we are at the it sort of breaks down on the blot out the memory thing, but at least dampening the hold that, to use today's language, this trauma left Egypt, then the spies happened, we got punished with 40 years, and we got the consequence from the generation before. So what does it mean for that next generation to let go of this memory that I can only imagine the Israelite to let go, for if Israel is the kid on the side of the pool in this, and is that perhaps that the future could hold something different, that the future could hold more safety and security? And I started to type out in my sermon what that might reflective work ourselves. So I will leave you with this image of the child on the side of the pool, and you decide whether they jump or they didn't jump. And that are coming, perhaps faster than certain rabbis want them to. And give you something to think about or perhaps discuss over lunch this morning. Our service returning the Torah to the Ark and continuing with Elenu, both Torah to the Ark, Eitz Chaim is on page 12, and then we'll continue into page 13. Please rise. We remember those: Thelma Bennett, Beulah Stern Boyd, Dora Cohen, Moses Kramer, Jacob A. Donnenfeld, Bertha J. Euphrat, Francis N. Frank, Abe Goldman, A. Kahn, Ida Claren, Julius Kotler, Philip Lang, Mayor Lebensberger, Abraham Levinson, Shirley Levine, Rabbi Stephen N. Levinson, Joan Rosenthal Berlansky, Robert Uden, Archie Raffel, Max Scheiner, Henry P. Schwartz, Robert A. Shapiro, Walter Shaw. Be added or pronounced more correctly. I invite you to share them aloud. To rise first, as we join in one community of strength and support. Ufchaye dechol Beit Israel, Bagala uvizman kariv, vimru amen. Yehe shemei rabba mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yitar vit ale vit halal, shemei dekudesha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma Yisrael, vimru amen. If you would like to sit, you may. It is customary, and there is an English reading first. The soul. Amid shouts of joy to the sound of the shofar, the Holy One ascends. Let us ascend as we hear the call of community. Let us ascend toward forgiveness and peace of mind, toward heartfelt change and acts of repair. Let us ascend to the sound of the shofar. Let us enter the gates of Teshuvah. Would you like to do the calls? No, the Tekiah, Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah. Because it's my shofar. You may be seated if you wish. We will conclude with Oseh Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, and I believe we will be doing Kiddush and Motzi in Aleph with the Kiddush lunch. I'm pretty sure I saw that's where it is. Morning service in Elul, so if you liked this packet and would like to keep it, feel free to share